Let us start with, thanks for having me here. Here I am, really advanced manufacturing, the right place to host this event for the second year. And let me start with where we are now. Penang, Malaysia. Malaysia, Semicon and E&E contributed about 40% of total exports for Malaysia. And out of that, 29% came from Penang. So for now, since Penang has been 53 years, when we started the, what we call this, by the former Chief Minister Dr. Lim Chong Yu on this industrialization, I was fortunate to see how this earlier paddy field and the swamp area converted into in the free trade zone in this 1972. So now we are already in the 53 years. So 53 years, this is where we have come to. And what more for Penang? What's next for Penang? So Penang is, for the last 3 years, is repositioning itself into the global value chain. Global value chain. And good that currently we have this National Industry Master Plan by the government. And we have this last 1.5 years announced the Prime Minister the National Semiconductor Strategy. So all that in place. And also in 2018, under the Tun Mahathir, we launched the Industry Forward, where, moving towards I 4.0. Today's topic is about I4, developing future-ready workforce for Industry 5.0. And where are we now? Are we there? Are we already in I 4.0? Are our SMEs already in how many? The recent survey or recent agencies, reporting by agencies, as for now, the take-up rate for I 4.0 for SMEs is only 500. We targeted 3,000 by 2030 for I 4.0, but as for now, it's 500. So that's a challenge for us to hit where we are now. From I 4, we would like to move to I 5.0. And in 2022, my office came up with this. We worked with the Asia School of Business, State Government Work Conference, to do a survey on Industry 4.0 technology adoption in Malaysian manufacturers. So the findings are here. I could share this, the soft copy of this. It should be good to study and where we are, where we are going. So as I said, repositioning. Earlier, Penang or Malaysia, we were on OEM, high volume manufacturing, OEM. Only after 50 years, last 2-3 years, we are talking about design. Recently, we have the KL Summit 20, KL 20 Summit. We talk about IC design. And recently, we talk about National Semiconductor Strategy. So that's where we are heading. Very clear policy statement made on where Malaysia should be heading. So advanced manufacturing coming here for the second. So very timely. So let's go back to the topic, developing future-ready workforce for Industry 5.0 advanced manufacturing. Now, we have a panel of experts here. Let's see, I throw questions to the panel. What winning strategies can industries adopt today to attract and retain top talent in advanced manufacturing and amid fierce global competition? Would like to start with maybe Azura?
Okay, actually, in TalentCorp, as a government agency that our main focus is talent, we do not just want to make sure that Malaysia has enough talent to be able to support the projects and what we are heading. You know, like we are going to the moving from advanced packaging to IC design, where the front of line. So it has to start with before with the talent before they even go into how to say, we need to invest the talent, because talent is not a one day, you cannot build Rome in one day, right? So at TalentCorp, we ensure that we involve everybody in the ecosystem. Government, we are government, we involve the input from the industry. We also get input from the academia and also the training providers, to make sure that we tackle all these aspects to work together instead of working inside silo, to come up with how we need to do to get this talent, because it has to start somewhere. There are a lot of policies to be crafted, and also a lot of funds involved. I think national semiconductor strategy give us like 5 years only for us to move from advanced packaging to IC design. So right now, Penang is the so to speak a right place to start, because we have many IC design ecosystems in Penang, like Opstar, like Infinix, and so on and so forth, Skychip. So we are working with these industries on how to develop more talent to support these IC design industries, these front of line industries, to move forward IR 5.0.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have these questions on, we talk about I 4.0 is about the, at that time was IoT, sensors, and these cloud services. Now we are going to big data, AI. How can companies integrate these data-driven insights to measure and maximize the ROI of talent transformation initiative? How do we do that?
Yeah, maybe I take a first step at it. So as in anything we do, right, the first thing that the upper leadership will be asking for, what's the ROI of doing all this investment? Because all this technology investment, they are not cheap, right? So the first thing they are looking at is what are the ROIs? For example, one thing I can share from Micron is that we are using this enterprise product of intelligence assistant that we roll out in the form of chatbot, and we roll it up across all the functions, especially those that interact by all the employees. For example, you have your HR functions, you have the finance, you have the procurement, you have the IT. All these services are being leveraged across the company. So there's a lot of things happening that requires these departments. For example, you want to approve the PO, you go to your procurement. You want to apply for leave, who do you go to? You go to HR, right? So in the past, all these are going through humans, through tickets and so on to execute. So now with the intelligent chatbot, it's all done through the chatbot. It doesn't go through any human anymore. So obviously, all this investment comes with a cost, but at the end of the day, we want to know how much does that translate to ROI, right? So for example, the chatbot example that I mentioned, we use the numbers of action that's been taken. We measure that, how many actions has been taken by the chatbot, and then we translate to the hours saved, and then after that, to the cost. Because if human was to spend time doing all these things, obviously there are a cost component there, right? We are not paying human for free. So similarly, for example, in IT and also the engineering development team, we have this thing called a code generator. For those of you who are into doing coding and development, right? In the past, it's all human doing all the coding and so on. Now with code generator, it's actually quite simple. You just use a natural language prompt, and it can come up with the specific code that you're looking for, and that helps assist us to speed up the development work. So for that also, we can measure that because we can see from the tools how many code generation has been done, and then again, we can correlate that to the typical hours that we spend doing the coding if it's to be done manually by humans. So again, all those can be translated to cost, and that's how we use a data-driven insight in order to see whether all the investment we are making is making sense, not really cents, dollars of that we are spending, right? Are we getting the returns that we are spending, right? That's my, okay.
You do need to start to think about leadership in AI and stuff like that. Because I think as you progress forward, like I said, there are two tiers, right? One thing is where the organization needs to move and go forward. There is a need to have a real intent amongst the leadership team wanting to put this changes in a meaningful way and be serious about it, and not just a lip service to say, look, I'm looking progressive so I can attract people. Actually, to have real intent, so leaders in that sense will need to have the commitment and the will to push through a lot of these changes, because a lot of these things has to start from the top. It's not an IT project. It's not a HR cultural project. It needs to be owned by the CEO or top of the house, along with the management team. Everybody has to be on board. If you're not on board, you're out. So you need to be aligned in that sense. So that's one part of the leadership that needs to be strong. The other part is also in terms of trying to, I like what Clement said about humanizing, humanizing the AI and things, because I think a lot of us are very enamored by the sexiness in terms of how cool it is and all that. But then at the end of the day, it's really trying to understand, how does this help? How does this help an employee add value to the organization? It takes away all the things, my mundane sort of work, and now I'm elevating my capability and being able to directly impact the organization. I think these are some of the things that we need to start to think as leaders when we're trying to drive a lot of these things forward. So it's not just an implementation project.
Then, with that, I have this question. There is a statement on that the future of talents is in skills, not credentials. How do you explain that? Or do you agree with that?
Well, let me take a jab of that first, right? I think as of now, it is still credentials important, don't get me wrong, to get you into a company to start with. Very few companies are willing to go without credential as of now. Please share with me if you find any, right? I don't think so. They still go for credentials to a certain extent. But skills are important that bring you to the next level and beyond, right? It's your innovation, how creative you are, you leveraging on your skills, how you upgrade yourself. But with the credential, it's like a ticket to entry. You don't have the ticket, you cannot enter, right? Even for myself right now, do I look at the CGPA of the people? I don't stress on CGPA, but they cannot fail, right? Because you can compare to a certain extent, the knowledge, the way they carry themselves is still very different. You still need that to progress, but technical skills are important, right? You want to do technical work, engineering, R&D. These are things you cannot run away from, right? And to add on to this, you must have the right prompting skills, like what Clement just said. You prompt correctly, you will get fantastic answers. You don't know how to prompt, you get nonsense, or you get things that everybody will say the same thing.
We wrap up with one sentence, one statement from our panelists. What do you think that the government or companies should do more towards future workforce, I 5.0, advanced manufacturing? Maybe you start with Azura.
Okay. In my opinion, whether it's government or industry or academia or whatever, you have to embrace it and make sure that everybody is also, practicing whatever is ongoing right now, like be it IR 4.0 or IR 5.0, because at the end we want everybody to be together and excel together, and we don't want to leave anyone behind in our organization.
do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's just do it.
Okay. Yes, Lina.
I think we need to basically stop coming in with a certain expectation and perception of things. We need to approach talent, the way we work, how we organize work in a very different mode already, because what we've known in the past will not work right now. So I think as an organization, as an employer, we need to be very open to different ways of working entirely.
Flexible.
Fantastic. Clement?
Yeah, maybe I'll keep it short and simple. I think just now there was some discussion about multi-generation and all those things, different generation behaving differently or whatever, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're Generation X or Y or Z or whatever, or now I think the latest one is called Alpha. I think it's important to have adaptability as one of our things that we need to inculcate in all of us, because technology will keep on changing, so we need to be adaptable. Even for us in Generation X, we need to continue to adapt.
Okay, one statement.
Infinity. The sky's the limit, right? Nothing stopping us to change, to improvise, and to test it out, right? Like Albert Einstein, he did not create things within a day. But don't repeat the same mistake, and always don't limit yourself to try new things.
Okay, thanks so much. We are limited of time.
Thank you
We could
very
not
much.